And it looks like I'm live. So if anybody's out there, once I get drop a message in there, it's a live AMA. Okay, we got a. I am gonna have to shut down the audio on the feedback one. There we go. Okay, so it looks like I'm live. I'm here to answer any questions on crypto, on silver, on the Silver Symposium. Got plenty of articles we can talk about. Any crypto questions you have out there? We can talk about choke point. Any questions you've had last several months. I haven't done a live AMA on YouTube in a little while. Um, hey, Diane, thanks for stopping in. Sure, we could talk about wallets, whatever you like. We talk about the Ballet wallet, which we're looking actually to increase the visibility of that as well. Why don't you just type in the chat there? And again, thanks for stopping by. Write in your chat what's your question specifically about wallets, and I'll just go into it. But as I'm doing that, I'm going to pull up a couple other things and just have them at the ready so we can talk a little more here. So let's see. There's lots to talk about. They got the economic preppers and all that other good stuff. But I'm going to present and share my screen. Where's the right window, please? There we go. All right. So we'll be talking about economic preppers. We'll be talking about Silver Symposium, all that good stuff. But let's jump right into questions. Whatever questions you guys have. Thanks for stopping by. I know it's a summer. It's the middle of June. A lot of people were winding down the school year, getting ready for summer. There's the old saying that says, go away in May and forget about it. A lot of people were taking time off in the summer. But let's go to the question here. So the first question here, and I'm going to put up on the screen. So Diana is asking a question about wallets. The first question is a few questions. All right, let me take a beverage here real quick. A little of a sore throat, so just bear with me if you would. Do I think the atomic wallet breach was an inside job? Well, I think that that's a tough one because I think was someone with critical knowledge did it? Probably yes. A group called the Lazarus Group, a group of hackers, from what I've heard, is taking responsibility for it. But it's kind of like when you hear about, like, I'm not going to drop the T word, but when someone acts, I'm on YouTube Live, remember that. So I'm choosing my words wisely. But when a group does something incorrect or nefarious or anti-establishment, often a group takes credit for it. And whether that's the right group or not, but right now we're going with that. It was the Lazarus Group. I don't know what they did to hack it, but you have to understand how these wallets operate. Atomic wallet, like any other electronic wallet, we're talking Exodus, we're talking Trust, we're talking Atomic, we're talking, I don't know, Monarch. I'm just throwing names out. Just electronic wallets. An electronic wallet is something an app you would download and put it on your phone or your laptop as an electronic wallet. Those generate your private keys. So if there's a backdoor that software that you may or may not be aware, or if someone comes along and joins that company or that group that makes that product, that wallet, and creates a backdoor to see those private keys, then yes, there could be someone that's a bad actor. And you won't know it until it's too late. And that's why we put a lot of things out there, like on litecoinleader.com, where I say you can use your cell phone as a storage for these electronic wallets, but then you have to protect how it addresses the internet. But that's only protecting people from getting to your device. If they know your 12 words, which I believe was part of this hack, that's beyond getting to your device. Because if you have your 12 words, any one of those 12 words can get access to your funds. It's like having the key to your safe deposit box. And you don't necessarily have to be, well, as long as you can get to that box, and that box is available anywhere, that you download a copy or a version of that wallet and put those words in, that wallet will populate with its contents, and then they can move them as such. But they've done some homework. Yeah, Patrick might be joining me. I don't know yet. But that they've done some homework on it, and they've, based on the wallet analysis and the address analysis of where the funds, the ones that they can track and see how they've gone, it does seem to be going from a group to some addresses associated with this group. But that's part of the danger of cryptocurrency. And every time something like this happens, a lot of people get concerned about, like, are my funds safe? And that's why we immediately, like, safety and security of your assets is paramount. If you're going to become your own bank, which is the name of our course that we're introducing shortly, you have to understand how do these wallets work, how do you keep them safe, and how do you practice good security. And we even had it on our AMA for our membership last night that they asked the question, how can we be secure? Well, I've always had a 1% rule of thumb for security. So if you have $1,000 of Bitcoin, you're probably only going to spend 10 or 20 bucks in security, because otherwise, why would you spend $1,000 in security if you only have $1,000 of Bitcoin? It doesn't make much sense unless you're thinking that the Bitcoin is going to be worth so much more. But it's just a general rule of thumb. You don't want to go over crazy with your security, but you also don't want to go under with it too. If you have $1 million of crypto assets, you should be contacting a consultant like myself or Patrick or Dylan or someone like that, and have a conversation, and maybe even have us come out to your location and say, are we secure? Because 1% of your wealth at $1 million is $10,000. $10,000 will buy you a lot of consultation, a lot of hands-on firsthand. I would come out to anybody for $10,000, spend a couple of days with them, make sure they're all secure, make sure that they're good practices, and I'd follow up with them. I'd call them before and after that visit, because that's what you need to do. You need to be, you're establishing your own bank, and when you're establishing your own vaults for that kind of wealth, you need to make sure it's secure and that you have the means to protect it, not just with the cyber stuff, but also, if anyone should want to try to get into your vaults. All right, next question from Diane. Hopefully she'd like to answer the first one. Second question from Diane. How many wallets are out there? Hundreds, thousands? Well, there's lots of different versions of wallets out there. I would probably say it's somewhere in the 100 range. There's always somebody developing another wallet. I've seen many different, Treasure and Ledger are your top two, but we've seen like Ledger just had that issue with they were sharding their secret words. So that's completely violates the Bitcoin philosophy of never sharing your words. So that's a slam against them. Treasures, they can, if you have a physical device, I've seen it done. I've seen videos on it. If you're a sophisticated engineer, you can hack them. It's not easy. It's kind of a brute force thing, and it takes hours and the right equipment, but you can kind of, rig up something with that wallet so that it'll jump over where you need to be and get access to the account. Nothing is perfect. I will say that right now. Nothing is perfect. The best you can do is to make sure that it is as far removed from being a hot wallet as possible whenever you check your assets. And that's why our best device that we know of at this point is really using a Ballet wallet. And a Ballet wallet, here's an example of Ballet wallet, and I should just bring it up on the screen. So let me get the screen available for it. We have these available. Let's see. Sorry, too many pages open. There's the wallet. Okay. So let me share. Present one more time. So here's the wallet. Why? Well, wrong button. There we go. A little hard to see, but you can see this is economicprepperswallet.com. You can get these for $40 and it's a $5 shipping fee. $45, you have a wallet that it's very easy to install. There's also a consultation if you want to know more directly how to set it up. But once you have that device it's a vault. It's secure, and you can keep it. You can keep that in a safe and never have to open it up in your safe again, because you have the app to look at the assets that are on this wallet. So that way it's air gapped. Now you're trusting the creator of this, who's Bobby Lee, that he's going to be a good actor, not a bad actor. Now he's been in the space for he's one of the longest people running in the space. He's an OG of OG. Like his brother, Charlie Lee, was the inventor of Litecoin. Bobby Lee has been around, I think, since like 2012, 2013, the crypto space, which is a long time in this space. And he's not been hacked. He stands by his product. In fact, I believe Patrick would be a better person to speak to this, because he's talking with Bobby a lot. I won't go into all the details what we're doing with Ballet, but Ballet, while it will be, I believe, at the Silver Symposium, we're trying to get Bobby there as well. And we're going to do a workshop there. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but you will be able to attend and talk about and learn about how to operate this wallet. We had people when we did our Economic Preppers event in Wisconsin. I think that was January. I can't even remember. All the months kind of bleed together right now, but we did that earlier this year. I think it was January. And it's very easy to operate. Everybody in the room got one. Everybody understood how it worked. And I would say it was done in probably like 10, 15 minutes. It is easier set up with, I would say it's easier set up with an iPhone than than an Android, but it being an Android guy is one extra step. You just had to go to the store versus just scanning the code. But it was very simple to set up, very simple to do, and it was immediately you could see the value of it. Third question here from Dan. Are you familiar with Electrum? I have heard of the Electrum wallet. Unfortunately, because they all sound the same, there's the electronic wallet, the Electronium wallet, there's the Electrum wallet. I can't speak to this because I never used it. So I try to stick to ones that are supported and used a lot, but not, I try not to go too far beyond. I don't want to, unless there's a coin that I want to go find and get, like a project I'm really interested, but I'm not really chasing many off the beaten path altcoins right now. Right now, I'm focused mostly on the top 500 or less, and all those are supported in either Exodus or Trust or Ballet. Atomic is a distant fourth to all those, not just because of the issues recently, but it's always been a little bit less stable of a wallet. The benefit of the Atomic wallet is that you could stake right from the wallet. They were one of the first that could do that. Trust and Exodus has caught up on that. Maybe not the same rates, but if you're worried about your assets, to me, I'm more worried about keeping my assets than getting a 3 to 5% return of more assets. It's nice to be staked, but even people like right now, that the warning that we want to make sure that people understand, and I'll talk to Patrick about that just today. The warning we want to make sure that people understand is that the atomic hack may not be over. If you had coins that were staked, like for Zilliqa or Zil, or I think the only one might be, I don't think Cardano is the issue right now, but I would still be keeping an eye on it and see if anything that was staked, keep an eye on, make sure that there's not an attack on that they may try and grab it when it's unstaked. So you have to be wary of the timing of, like, are they trying to unstake your assets? And if so, when does the unstaking happen? And then that's when, a company like Pro Bitcoin Solutions with Tim and Patrick can really intervene and make sure that, that loss of coinage does not happen. So, but yeah, I can't speak to Electrum wallet. I never speak to products I don't use personally. I would certainly hop out there. Adam, what about Adam, Patrick? And why aren't, if you're here, he did. Yeah, I love Adam. I love Adam the Coin. Adam is a great project. I think there's a ton of good projects. I think Litecoin is at a discount, like Maddox at a discount. Let's talk about the products that are at a discount for a minute here while Patrick decides if he wants to. He's with us. He's with a little one, so he's not going to be joining. I completely understand. So he's here in spirit, and we'll talk to things. But Adam, I'll just go back to speaking about Adam. In general, I'm staking Adam on Atomic. All right, you're gonna have to speak in complete thoughts, Patrick, or I really can't answer. So you get your thoughts out when you're dealing with Grayson and a few other things, and I will share those as we go. But let me talk about the assets that are under attack right now from the SEC. SEC put out a statement, and it's a big picture statement now. So the SEC is attacking crypto however they can, because they don't want you leaving the system. They want these things to be used as much as possible all over the planet, especially the United States. So that's why they don't, all the crypto cards and Choke Point 2.0. And if you don't know about that, you have to follow Nick Carter and find his Substack. I was trying to find it right before this, but I couldn't find the right link. I'll get to that question in a moment, Diane. That's going. But Choke Point 2.0 is a real thing. And what they're doing is they're shutting down access between the cards and the projects and the banks. So they can't shut down Bitcoin. They can't shut down crypto. But what they can do, they can't shut down. The only thing they can do with those cards, the cards that you can swipe, and I don't have any on hand because they're basically all defunct right now. Because I think BitPay, the last day you use your BitPay card is tomorrow. So if you still have a balance on your BitPay card, please go and spend it. That would be a recommendation. Buy some gas, buy some food, whatever. Try to exhaust your entire balance on BitPay card. Buy a gift card with that exact balance, whatever you can do. But as of tomorrow, you can't use your BitPay card anymore. Litecoin card is gone too. Crypto.com, they have their own issues. The card still seems to work, but I don't know for how long, because what they're doing, the regulators, they're cutting off the banks that all these cards are using. They need to use a bank. Every card needs to use a bank so you can make that debit card side of the card work. Now, what they've all done is they basically said that, hey, Crypto or Litecoin, you're partnering with, I think it was Mellon Bank in New York or some bank in New York. That they're gone. The bank that's BitPay card, they're gone. That relationship was severed because they like the government cannot control Bitcoin and can control crypto, but they can control the banking system, and they can go out and say, "Hey, bank XYZ, you're no longer allowed to work with this card because it's a crypto card. So shut that down, or else we're going to crack down on you in other ways." So that's what they're doing. That's the choke point 2.0. So that's keeping you trapped in the dollar system. And remember, we're only days away. We're 2 weeks away from the Fed now CBDC being launched. And just wait for that to happen. So you have choke point 2.0. You have all these projects that are being shut down for spending crypto. And now the SEC is coming after Coinbase and Binance. Robinhood delisting things. You have crypto.com delisting things in the US. And the SEC is claiming these other projects are all securities with no basis or no grounds whatsoever. Now, I just want to remind people, especially people in the United States, that's where I am too. I'm born and raised in the United States, and I still have hope for our country, but it's been challenging the last couple of years. I know. I do want to say this: crypto is global. A lot of the use cases for crypto are global. Banking the unbanked, point-to-point transfers, all this. We have the benefit of banking system in the United States. The problem we have, of course, now is inflation and a dying currency. But they want to trap us into that system and try to put blinders on us for what's happening outside of the U.S. borders, if we still have borders. Another story, another time, another channel, and keep us in the dollar system. And one of the ways they do that is like they want as few of these leaving into Bitcoin as possible. And the choke point 2.0 is doing that. So now I can come back to that, talk about other things, but let me address some of the questions that are here. Thank you, Diane, for Metropolitan. That's the one I thought was good. I wasn't certain. Let's see. Patrick says, Zill and Atom on Atomic are prone to unstaking periods. Watching the staking vaults carefully and understand the specific block height for each chain. So, yes, these are both prone to unstaking periods. I think Atomic is 21 days and Zill is 21 or 28. I think they're both. Let's assume they're both 21, but you definitely want to validate that. If you have Zill or Atom coins in an Atomic wallet, you may still be at risk. So if they are unstaked, so if the staking vaults are being unstaked or they're attacking the staking vaults, if you have any questions about this, please reach out to Tim at Pro Bitcoin Solutions. He knows the most of this stuff, but Patrick's too busy. Don't reach out to Patrick. I mean, as you can see, he's even too busy to join me here. One of his best friends on the planet. He can't make it because of other commitments, and I understand that. So we have to make sure that we're using our time as best as possible to manage this. But I do want to say that we are out there. We're helping the community. Patrick was on this Saturday. I think it was 2 weeks ago. This past Saturday, he got that information right out there. I think it was a week ago last Saturday. You get the idea. Basically, the first weekend of June. So you're still at risk. If you have concerns, reach out to Tim at probitcoinsolutions.com and get that out there. I will put that. Let me just find my banners. Let's see. All right. Dead air. So there's that. And hold on. Let me edit that. Get that rolling. So there's the details on the Silver Symposium. On all the videos I've been doing lately, we have getting the ticket deduction or the discount tickets and there's Tim's email at Tim, or just go to probitcoinsolutions.com. Make sure you go there if you have any questions. Now let me go back to the chat. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I'll come back to lots of different things. We'll talk about the symposium. We'll talk about what's going on there. We'll talk about the courses that we're launching. I'm with you, brother. I know. We got lots of things going on. We'll talk about them soon. And Dylan, we're with you in spirit too. I don't know where you're at. You're probably making websites right now. Love you too. Okay. So this is the time I could do this week. Couldn't do it tomorrow, but hey, if you like this kind of things, please like the channel, subscribe, that cool stuff. I always leave a comment if you're watching later. If you have more questions, I have a free Telegram that's always mentioned. Follow the leader is the name of my free Telegram for this channel. We have more stuff on economic preppers. Economic preppers is a free Telegram as well. But we focus mostly, we predominantly speak about crypto on Litecoin Leader or follow the leader, whereas we talk about other economic stuff mostly on economic preppers. Now, another question, Litecoin Walton, welcome aboard. Thank you for this question. What do you think is going to happen once the Fed pivots? Okay, now we're going to economics. All right, I need a beverage here. 1 second. Okay. And a little shout out to another friend of ours, Devin Logan. Thank you for the cup, and use it quite often. Holds lots of beverage, which is always a good thing. Okay. What happened once the Fed pivots? Do you think the stock market will ever decouple from the crypto market? Man, when? Well, there's an argument saying that the crypto market has decoupled from the market, but the problem is that all the markets are manipulated, including Bitcoin to an extent because of the options. It's the altcoins on down. Bitcoin and Ethereum, the only ones with options. And Bitcoin is the leader. It's got its dominance is very high once again. And as Bitcoin goes, so does the market. And Bitcoin works the same. If you look at the Coinbase price, the Coinbase chart looked like, I think it's COIN is their ticker. Their ticker goes right along with Bitcoin. So, and that's a tech stock. So I think NASDAQ and Coinbase, and as a result, Bitcoin will tend to trend for a little while because it's confusing to a lot of people. A lot of people are like, the stock market's going up. They don't worry about things. All right. The stock market's been doing, I've been out of the stock market for years because I don't trust it. It's rehypothecated. You can't get your own shares anymore. I've gone into that in other videos, and where you can't get you don't get your physical shares anymore. You can't prove ownership. For example, like you can't, if you buy bad idea. Let's go with a silver coin. So this is a silver coin. This is 1 ounce of silver. It's a round. Okay. This is in my hand. So I know that I own this 1 ounce of silver coin. I can't do this with a stock. I used to be able to get a stock. You used to be able to get a share of Ford or General Motors or Caterpillar back when they were in the Dow. But what few people realize is that these markets completely manipulate, not just because of the number of shares is way beyond what they really exist, because the more shares, the more trading, and the more that the trades and Wall Street makes, because there's more volume to make these trades. Same thing for the electronic brokers. They all make money on trades. So that to make more trades, you need more volume. And that's why part of the problem is with the traditional market. Now, stock market issues, like the part of the problem with the stock market is that that's where a lot of the money has been pumped into for many reasons, because of pension plans, 401ks, and it's been doing so well, but it's been the barometer of the economy for so long that everybody wants the market to do well. So now with the real estate starting to tank, you're going to have a lot of commercial real estate tanking. You're going to have a lot of, Targets and Anheuser-Busch, and those companies, along with others, have bad numbers every quarter, and it's going to go down, down, down. It's not going to look good. So the problem, I think that crypto won't decouple for a little while, because crypto is not seen by the masses as a flight to safety. If people want to leave the stock markets or the real estate and they want to try to have a flight to safety, typically that's gold and silver. And now gold's at an all-time high, relative high, like the past 50 years or so. The central banks have more gold in their depositories since 1960 something, which is before we went off the gold standard. So more than 50 years ago, you have to go back to find how much, a point where central banks had this much gold. So now gold and silver are seen as the safe havens. And when they run out of supply, and physical supply, not just paper, the paper trades, it's starting to wind down. But I know this is a long answer, but I think the flight to safety from the markets is going to be silver and gold. When that runs out, or when that starts to be a problem, or when silver and gold start to take off, that's when I think you'll start to see Bitcoin take off, especially with what's going to happen in the next 3 months. In the next 3 months, I've been talking on economic preppers. We have a couple of meetings. Let me share my screen. I'll talk about one of the conferences. But let's see. Let's go here, and I can share. Is that it? Nope. I had it here a moment ago. Lost it. All right, I'll pull it up in a second here. But there's a conference that's starting real soon in Russia called the SPIEF. And let me share my screen. So this is the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. This had way better statements or comments. It was a much better. Oh, thank you for chatbot popping up. But this used to be called LEAF when it was Leningrad, but now it's St. Petersburg. So here we are starting today. This is the same conference that last year that Putin announced that the Russian ruble was going to be tied to gold. So now we have 80 some countries attending this that are going to be talking about international economics. The U.S. is not going to be there. So this is there's a lot of international economics being talked about in the next several months. You've got this conference. Then you've also have the BRICS nations, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, meeting in South Africa in Durban in August. And they're top of their agenda. It's already been announced, been put out there already. Is that their number one agenda item is going to be a new world currency. And it's not clear what it's going to be, but if it's going to be, the best guesses are it's going to be a combination of gold, silver, and Bitcoin, or some version thereof. It's going to be backed by something. It's probably going to be backed by gold or some other combination of precious metals and other resources. And Bitcoin could be one of those. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. That will really decouple the markets. And so the declining need for the US dollar, especially on the world stage, is really going to strike turmoil in all markets. And we're going to have like the everything bubble that's been talked about a lot. So that's where I think that we're going to see that the markets all go down. And then if Bitcoin isn't, because it's really about Bitcoin. It's not about the crypto market. When you say crypto market, you're basically saying Bitcoin right now because it's the Kleenex or the Xerox of its industry. So as Bitcoin goes, so goes the market, at least at first. So Bitcoin must take off for the rest of the market to take off. Bitcoin, I believe, will take off probably in August or September a little bit, because then we'll start to see like, hey, wait, on the international stage, now people are interested. And with the halvening coming in about 11 months from now, and then about 11 months later, we'll probably get to a peak. So we're probably about a year and a half away from a very high peak for Bitcoin. And I'll pull up the rainbow chart too, and it'll give you an idea where we are. But we've been just stagnating and just languishing for months now. And before I bring that up and before I talk about that, let me share a couple other things. So we're halfway through the AMA. If you have more questions, please put them in the chat. Love to talk to you guys. But let me talk about what's happening at the end of September. Now, a lot of people have been talking about, I wish there was another meetup, wish it was easy to attend, wish it was, favorable costs. So that's what we've done. All right. We have made, we've worked with the Silver Symposium, and I'm going to get the view right there. There we go. So Silver Symposium is going to be at Caesar's Palace at the end of September, and September 20th to October 1st. The first, let me drop the comment here. Right. So that's going to be a 3-day event at Caesars. There's already almost 1,000 people there, okay, that are already bought tickets. That's a lot of people for an event that's over 100 days away. Now, there's a lot of interest in this. There's a lot of big speakers. Let me talk about the speakers here. This guy, he's holding a baby right now, but that's Patrick. He's going to be the MC, and he's helping him put this together, and I'm helping him as much as I can along with it. But there's going to be talk about Bitcoin, which is for this audience, we're going to include Bitcoin as the synonym for crypto. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin, silver. Those will be a prominent topics. We'll be talking about other coins and gold as well. But we're going to talk about avoiding the dollar, getting away from the dollar. So you can see some of the speakers here. David Morgan, big silver guy. This guy, Economic Ninja, talked about him a lot. Greg Manarino, big silver stock trader, lives out in Vegas, I believe. He's a crypto guy too. Andy Sheckman, Miles Frankman's CEO and president, big guy in silver, big guy on understanding the BRICS nations and the Belt and Road Initiative, which I've talked about before. So we've got lots of good speakers. You have Joe Brown, you have Jack from Nobody Special Finance. So this list is growing. Now, I don't want to talk about some of the other speakers, but you will, if you've read certain books like I don't know, one about like Jekyll Island or something. So you may be interested about who else might be attending. certain guy who thinks that he's in one of the comic books about the is it the SEC? I think they call him Tricks, but his first name rhymes with Tricks. He'll be there. So these names are going to be announced soon. All right, but Patrick wants to interview them and really debut them, so they give him a little bit of a chance, a runway to debut everything that's going on there. So at the event, and one last thing I'll share before I get into it here. Let's run down the event. The event, the activities. We're going to have a meet and greet. There's a Bitcoin and Brew event. The first day is going to be heavily focused on alternative currencies, not just silver. You have Patrick, love the statement, silver is my stable coin. Stable coin, there's nothing stable about the dollar. So let's just, silver is the correct stable coin. That's been value for years. So we got booth crawl, bingo. There's going to be a lot more things that'll be popping up. We're working on the agenda. Economic Preppers is going to be sponsoring a ballet vault workshop. I believe that's Friday night, where we will probably have Bobby Lee explaining how to work these wallets, and you will get a special collector version of the vault, one of these guys. So that'll be very interested, and you'll get a special one there. And you're getting an ounce of silver. I mean, what you're getting at this event for $89 is crazy cheap. So we really hope to see you there. As I said, there's already 600 people that are already like-minded like you that are going to be there, that we all want to talk about. We all want to gather together. And by the end of September, we're going to have SPIEF done. We're going to have the UN's going to be meeting. I think they're meeting in July. Then we have the Durban meeting in August. And we're going to have FedNow launched, and CBDCs will be the talk of the summer. And we'll be there to break it all down for you, to explain it all, and to make sure you're prepared and not scared. All right. That's what we want to do there. And we're going to, lots of good event. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be a huge event. And it's going to be the biggest anti-dollar event you're ever going to see. I know that Patrick doesn't want me to say it that way, but the dollar is dying. The dollar is garbage. We've been saying that to our viewers for a long time, but we want to promote the alternatives to getting away from the old system to the new system. All right. This question, always a divvy question. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty much not focusing on coins outside the top 100. There might be one or two that are just slipping out, but for the most part, for any project, and I will tell you, full disclosure, I was an investor in Divvy, and I no longer own any Divvy. I don't believe. I think Patrick might be holding some of them for me, but I'm almost completely out of Divvy at this point. And the reason is just, it's not lack of confidence in the team. It's just the direction of the team. I cannot go out and say, here's the reason I buy Divvy right now. 3 years ago, there were rewards in the master nodes. You're making 20 to 30%. And it was a growing project. You could get the coins for a penny or two. And it got to a dime or higher. I think it peaked out 17, 18 cents a year and a half ago. But since then, tell me the reason why anybody new to the marketplace wants or needs to buy the Divvy token. I don't have a reason at this point. And you could make the case for, Divvy DeFi, but I could do the same DeFi stuff with Matic or Ethereum. So why would I use this off-brand coin when I can use a much more mainstream coin and protect my wealth in a much more stable top 25 project? Now, Ethereum's number 2, Matic's probably like 10, 12. Why would I go outside of the top 100 if I don't need to? I need a reason to go outside the top 100 right now. Crypto is down. All the good projects are on sale. Cardano, Matic, Atom, I'm not even sure Zilliq is top 100 right now. I know that Digibyte isn't, but that's a project I've been following for years. That's the grandson of Bitcoin. Litecoin is the son of Bitcoin. So the grandson is Digibyte. If I'm going to pick one project outside the top 100, that would be my project, just off the top of my head. But I don't have a compelling reason to go and invest in a project like Divvy because the use case is not there. And that's what we've been screaming for months now. And I know Patrick shares my thoughts so that I'm a little bit more adamant than he is because he's been so tied to the project and he was a big believer and big part of the team to help it grow. But it's sad when you see a project start to fizzle and that they need, like we thought their partnerships in the past were going to lead to more usage, but it hasn't been fruitful yet. So we're looking for something for that project. They're still working on things. They're still doing things, but we're looking for them to strike a partnership or strike a compelling reason or a use case for Divvy to go out and use it and why you would want to use it. So All right, Diane, plenty of questions. I love it. Okay. Anybody else who wants to throw out a question, please do so, but or in the chat. So Diane asks, why do you think the ex Coinbase guy predicted Bitcoin in 1,000,000 in 90 days? I can never remember his name. It's on Twitter. It will be mid-June. So I think what he was saying was like he thought I can't remember his name, like it's Sarizi or Faridi or something like 6 letters, ends in an I. It's too much of a quiz for me. Someone put it in the chat. It was a tweet he put out. We even talked about an Economic Preppers. Dylan had there was a good segment on there on Economic Preppers. If somebody can find the link to that and put in the chat too, that's a really good conversation. I will try and find it. If I can't, I'll put it in there afterwards. But he put it out there to stimulate conversation, stimulate a bet, and to get interested in like talking about reasons why. And one of the most compelling reasons why is not like, Patrick made the argument of you would need a lot of money to come in, a lot of dollars to come in to push that price so high. Whereas I made the counter argument of you can make the argument that Bitcoin be worth $1 million. Sorry, I was looking for the video, couldn't find it. You can make the argument that it'd be worth $1 million because the dollar had Balaji. Thank you very much. You can make the argument that the dollar had gone down so much that $1 million was not worth that much in 90 days. Now that's a bit radical. That's a bit out there. I don't see it going quickly that fast, but it prompted a good debate. There's been other bets like that before. I remember that. Man, names are just escaping me right now. But McAfee put out like Bitcoin's going to be $1 million by a certain date, and that didn't happen. And he sort of checked out in many ways since then. But I think that these statements, they're talking points. They just kind of prompt conversation. I don't think he was a loser in either direction based on how he wagered it, but I think that he was able to, whatever the wager that he made, it was out there for him to have that conversation. And I don't think he was a big loser because he has a lot of Bitcoin. He's an OG in the space. So as long as they're interested, there's people talking about Bitcoin, it's not a bad thing. So I'm going to put this in the chat. That's the link over to our channel. At some point, I'm going to find this video about when we talked about this. I know Dylan and I did a nice short on it. Or actually, it was a good conversation back and forth with like Bitcoin to $1 million. Of course, you can never find it. You can never find it when you really want to find things. It's just the way it goes. Anyway, who's your other questions? There's the link to it. Let's see. Copy. So in the chats is the link here. And now I will show this. So first, there's the link. Just go to YouTube and type in Economic Preppers. And if you want to see this particular episode, this is the episode. I think it's about 15 minutes long where Patrick and Dylan and I debate that very question that Balaji posed about, Bitcoin to $1 million in 90 days or so. Okay, so other things that are popping up while I wait for more questions. So let me share my screen one more time. See where I was at. There was me looking on YouTube. Let's go over here to the Economic Preppers. So the Economic Preppers, once again, economicpreppers.com is where you find us. Here's where you find the wallet, Economic Preppers wallet. I don't know why. I think economicprepperswallet.com will take you to the wallet. But this is what I wanted to share and talk about. And we're about a day away from launching this. It's probably going to launch, we hope, Saturday morning. But this is the course is being your own bank. Discover how to move seamlessly between fiat, Bitcoin, and precious metals. And that's the course we're providing because the number one topic that we get asked about all the time. Let me hide that right now. The number one thing that we get we get asked about this all the time, and this, I will put the link up here for you guys. Understand it's under construction. Please give us a little break here as we get it ready. But in about a day or so, we're going to come out with an announcement that this is the course. This is where you get it, and we're going to talk about how do you go to CoinShop? How do you make sure the silver is real? How do you get from Bitcoin to silver to gold to Bitcoin and all those different things? How much should you have? How do you use Cash App? How do you use Venmo? All these different things. There's going to be probably about seven or 8 hours of videos. We're still recording them. There's lots of conversation that's going to be put up there. We're going to make it available to people on Litecoin Leader and Economic Preppers membership. We're going to make those who join now are basically our beta testers between now and September 1st as we get ready for the event. So we want that you guys go out there and test this out. But we know the number one conversation that we hear about is how do we do this? How do we do that? How do we live between the two financial worlds that are being built up or torn down? How do I pay my electric bill if I'm living in the world based on crypto, or if I have all my money in silver or gold? How do I pay my electric bill or my cell phone bill? Or how do I manage this or that? And how do I manage the CBDCs? All that stuff, all that conversation will be in this course. And it's going to be a lengthy course, but we're going to have a package together to also join our AMAs afterward, because we know that as soon as we make these videos, probably 20% of it will be outdated in 3 months. But that's why you become a member of Economic Preppers and talk to us on a regular basis and ask these questions and do these AMAs, because we are living a world between two systems. We have the old legacy system based on this garbage right here. And then we have the new financial system, which is based on, the stuff you put on here. And this is a lot like what you see as the elements of this logo were not done at random. You have Bitcoin at the top, you have gold, you have silver, a little bit of real estate at the bottom too. All these are assets that you can physically have, because there's your physical asset right here for Bitcoin. And by the way, anyone asks you about Bitcoin being tangible asset, hey, just tell them about all the miners in the world. That's your tangible asset. That's what the value of it's the network that's decentralized all over the planet. Imagine if your banking system was auditable at any given moment and it was everywhere and everybody was checking that everything was good every 10 minutes. That's Bitcoin. That's what Bitcoin miners do. That is the physical asset that backs Bitcoin. It is while you can't reach in your pocket and pull out a Bitcoin or Satoshi or a fraction of a Bitcoin, well, maybe you will be able to. You'll be able to pull out one of these guys or a prepaid one of these, which we'll also have by September 1st, if not sooner than that. We'll be selling. If you want to get these preloaded with Bitcoin, please contact us. Talk to us. Reach out to me. Reach out to Patrick. We will set up a time. We will mail you one of these. And then once we are perfectly safe and secure, we will complete the rest of the transaction securely so that you will have the Bitcoin that you asked for on your wallet safe and secure. Okay. That's one of the services that we offer. We offer many services like that. So we have education, but we're making these courses. We're going to have an intro to crypto as well. That'll be available by, again, September 1st is all the targets, because we're getting ready for September and October. So we're 45 minutes in. I was going to go about an hour, but I don't see a lot of other questions popping in. I must be covering things really well. I know there's a lot of news popping up. There's a lot of economy things popping up. I continue to stay on top of that. We'll be filming another episode on Economic Preppers tomorrow evening. Patrick and myself and Dylan will be sitting down and have a little conversation about that. I need to build the agenda for it right now, right after this call. But in the meantime, I'll pause for one more minute or two. I don't see any more questions pop in. I'd love to talk to you guys longer, but hey, if you want to do more of this, please, and you're watching afterwards, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know that you want to do one of these again. If there's better times for you, let me know, because I'm just picking them a little bit blindly. But again, I know it's summer. I know a lot of people are wrapping up school this week, or if that wrapped it up already, so there's vacations starting. A lot of people aren't thinking about finances, even though they should. And while everything may seem perfectly rosy right now, that other shoe is about ready to drop at any given time. And it's not just the price of gas or eggs or other things at the grocery store that's going to go up. We could be looking at a ton of bad news coming on the financial world this summer. And I hate to be a bearer of bad news and don't want to be all doom and gloom, but the entire point is that you need to be prepared so you're not scared by whatever comes down the pike. So I guess that's it for tonight. So I'm just going to wrap it up for now. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Again, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate everybody that dropped by with questions, especially Diane. A lot of good questions. I appreciate Patrick for stopping by. And Litecoin Lawton, that was a good question as well. Looking forward to you guys commenting and listening in on future videos. And if you have suggestions for topics or whatever, please leave them in the comments. So with all that said, I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau, say follow leader, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.